Greetings, everyone. DFG here, guys. How you guys doing? Yeah. Well, we need to stay consistent, right? So, do you have your ticket? You don't have one? Hit the subscription button below and come on in. And if you don't have any funds, you're welcome to come in. So, you don't even have to subscribe to hear and listen into this conversation, okay? Not that important. The message is more important. But yesterday I did a video and I was talking about dietary laws and things that we as a people need to have a better understanding of in terms of what our bodies can sustain versus what our bodies cannot. And just to this as a segue into the title of this message, I just wanted to just again reemphasize that message, and that is that because of the way our, I'm going to say DNA structure is made, it's unique. It's made in the image and the likeness of Yahuwah, Yahweh. And because of that, there are laws that he put in place in terms of how we can eat and what we should eat and what we should not eat. And the danger for us is that when we don't take heed to that direction, we put ourselves in harm's way. White Americans, Europeans, Asians, Africans, their diet's totally different than your diet. Talking about, Israelites. Your diet is a very strict diet that enhances all of the gifts and the talents that were placed in you at creation. So if you're a member of one of the 12 tribes, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, then your DNA is structured a little bit different than the rest of the world's DNA. Do your research. You'll find it out for yourself. Okay? That being stated, so you can't eat things. So let's just say a white guy can eat lobster, and he can eat crabs, and he can eat shrimp and oysters and pork and things like that. You eat that, and it'll have some effect on them, but nowhere near the effect that it's going to have on you proportionally. Where one of them may get real sick from eating that, 10 of us will get sick eating the same thing, percentage-wise. Okay, so 1% of them may get sick eating it. 60% of us may get sick from eating the exact same thing, that only 1% of them getting sick. And I suspect that 1% of them, they may not know they may be us. They just have a different pigmentation. They may be pale-skinned, but they're really Hebrews. Israelites, I'm sorry. That happens, believe it or not. Okay, there are some people who are very light complexion, who are just as much as Hebrew as you are, and you could be black, as tar, and vice versa on the other side. There are people who are dark as tar, and they're not Hebrew at all. There's some other, group, Hamites, Japhites, but they're not Shemites. So, and, the people who understand what I'm saying, they know what I'm talking about. But there are also many of us out here who have no idea. Yeshua called us the lost tribe of Israel because we had no idea who we were, and his intention was to come back and bring us back into the knowledge of who we were. And that dietary law helps you to not only sustain life, but to grow and to be very reproductive. Again, some of these sicknesses that attacks our bodies from some of the food we eat in males make them impotent. In other words, they cannot have erections, and then in many cases makes them sterile. Example, high blood pressure medicine. High blood pressure medicine on an Israelite has one impact on a man's genitals or his reproduction, system, and a man who's not a Shemite or Israelite may not affect him at all. And that, of course, that's going to hurt reproduction. If you're impotent, you can't have you can't have an erection. It's a good possibility you're not going to be able to reproduce. Simple and plain. And you got men as young as 25 years old, younger than that, on high blood pressure medicine. And this is because of the dietary laws that they're not respecting. They think they could eat anything. I mean, down in Louisiana, for example, where I'm from, you got people eating hot sausages. Hot sausages is pork, peppers, all kind of stuff, grease, lard. I mean, it's the type of stuff that would clog up your arteries, and you can have, stuff that if you really saw what that stuff does inside of the human arteries, you'll be saying, what the hell? You can't eat that. That's like eating Elmer's glue. But they eat it. They put it on some bread and dress it up, and they gobbling that stuff down like you wouldn't believe. And New Orleans is one of the most obese cities in the United States of America because of that kind of behavior. And sick, I'm telling you, don't try to go to the hospital because you're going to be waiting a while. I mean, those lines are very, very long, and it goes right back to the dietary laws that they do not keep, nor do they respect. Okay? I digress. I don't digress. I'll stop right there with that. But what I want to talk to the rest of this video, to what I want to talk to you, my brothers and my sisters, you know what I'm saying? My ethnic brothers and ethnic sisters, is what are the leading causes of death by age group for black males? And I think this is important. I think, we need to have some knowledge about this, because if you just go off of what the rumors are, or hearsay, or gossip, assumptions, we'd always think, well, that's murder. Black people kill black people, and that's the number one cause of black people dying, black males dying. That's not 100% fact. And that's what I want to share with you. I want to give you some facts, some information that you can pass on to your sons, to your brothers, to your fathers, to your neighbors. I want to give you some real facts so you can understand what group is being effective and being impacted by cause. Okay? What age groups are being affected by what cause that's leading to death. Okay? So let's start right here. Homicide. The number one killer for black men ages 15 to 19, I guess I got that wrong. I didn't get it wrong. The number one killer for ages 15 years old to 19 is homicide. From 20 to 24, number one killer, homicide. Almost 50% of those who die are are murdered. So from between 15 and 19, 50% of the deaths of 15 and 19-year-old is homicide. 20 to 24-year-old, 50% is homicide. 25 to 34, number one, homicide. And you might say, well, damn, I thought you just said homicide wasn't the leading cause. For that age group, it is the leading cause. But once they get past 35, it shifts drastically. Homicide goes from number one and it falls down to the number three, between the ages of 35 and 44. The number one is heart disease. Yes, heart disease. And then when you go to the next age group from 45 to 54, homicide goes all the way down to number 7, leading cause, all about 3%. But the number 1%, again, is heart disease. Go back to diet, go back to exercising. From 45 to 54, the number one killer of black men is heart disease. 45 years old. Think about that, 45. Then number 2 is cancer from 45 to 54. Number 4 is stroke. Number 5, believe it or not, is HIV. So as they push this homosexual agenda, LGBTQ homosexual agenda, just let you know, HIV kills people. And it kills black men. Just so you know. Okay, let's move over. Let's go to the age group 55 to 64. The number one killer, cancer. Number 2, heart disease. Number 3, stroke. Number 4, diabetes. Number 5, chronic lower respiratory diseases. Number 6, liver disease. Number 7, kidney disease. Number 8, HIV. And number 9 is something called septicemia. Homicide's not even in that group. And this is 55 to 64. That's not very old, guys. There is no murder that even make the top 10. Okay, or homicide, I'm sorry. And then 65 plus, again, black men, number 1, heart disease, 1 out of 5. 1 out of 4, I'm sorry. Or and same thing with 55 to 64. 1 out of 4 black men die of cancer. 55 to 64, number 1. 55 to 64, the number one killer. More than 1 out of 4 black men die of cancer. Same thing, heart disease, 1 out of 4 die. Okay, then I go, let's go 65 plus. The number one killer, again, 1 out of 4, heart disease. Again, 1 out of 4 from cancer. Then stroke is 6% from stroke, 5% from chronic lower respiratory diseases, diabetes, kidney disease, the flu, Alzheimer, and then kidney disease. So when you start looking past 35 years old, homicide is not our problem. I'm talking about black men. It's what you've been eating up until you get 35 years old. How you've been treating your body up until you get 35 years old. Then all of a sudden your body starts to bring back to your remembrance how you treated it. So you treated it like crap. Now it's going to make you pay a price for not respecting your temple, your bodies. So when you start hearing me and listening to the dietary laws that I'm talking about, again, this is talking about eating to live. We cannot consume what the rest of the world can consume. I mean, you can. I'm sorry, you can do it, but you're going to pay a much, much, much higher price than they're going to pay. Do they get sick from eating those foods? You better believe they do, but not proportionally. Not proportionally to our proportion. Again, for every one of them that gets sick, it could be 10 of us, 20 of us getting sick from eating the exact same thing, because we're not built to consume those things. We have no business eating those things. I know you want to eat and you like and it tastes good. And look, okay, does it taste so good that by the time you're 35 years old, you want to be going and running and taking heart medicine for the rest of your life? Does it taste so good by the time that you are 45 years old that you want to have heart disease, cancer, strokes, diabetes? Does it taste so good by the time you turn 55 years old again that you want to have heart disease, cancer? You want to be at risk of high risk for stroke, diabetes, liver disease, kidney disease, HIV. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how HIV keeps slipping in here. I don't know if that's from sexual promiscuity. I think I'm saying that promiscuous. I don't know what that is. Or maybe it's because they're down low. Maybe because they're practicing, they're bisexual. They're sleeping with men and sleeping with women. And a lot of these black men are doing that crap, unfortunately. And women, you need to know that. You need to be vetting these men. You need to figure out, is this guy hanging out with these guys because these are his buddies, or this guy hanging out with all these guys because they're his lovers? I know you don't want to hear me say that, but look, something is causing this HIV to make this list. And it seems to me, as I look at this list, the older they get, the higher up the chart HIV comes. Now again, that could be because they're doing it at 20 and 30 years old. It's taking 8, 9, 10 years for it to start to show up. But it's there. It's on the chart. Okay? So, your lifestyle, the way you eat, you know what I'm saying? The way you, the type of intimacy you allow yourself to get involved in, those things will kill you just as quick as a bullet will kill you. And once you get, again, above 35 years old, that's what your problem is going to be. Your problem is not going to be another black man shooting you, or a black woman shooting you, or a police officer shooting you. It's going to be you shooting yourself with not respecting and your temple, your body. That's going to be your number. You're going to be the number one killer of yourself if you're not listening and understanding what I'm trying to communicate to you. And I believe that Yahweh or Yahuwah has put it in my mouth to put it to your ears, because a lot of you guys are not respecting this. You think that living high on the hog, as they say, makes you, it makes you fly, or makes you, shine, as whatever words they're using these days. And it doesn't. It just makes you a walking time bomb. So you go eat all your lobster and brag about how many, all these barbecues you go to, and, and all these, just things that you're doing, and your crabs and your crawfish, with all that might sound good and dandy. But when you're sitting in there and they're chopping off your legs, and you're on dialysis machines, and you're on heart medicine, you can't breathe, you can't walk, you can't work out, you can't do anything, you can't have sex, then you're going to find out at 35, 40 years old that you should have walked away from that stuff. You should have never allowed yourself to be seduced by or enticed by that type of lifestyle. I'm talking about, eating irresponsibly, not taking care of yourself, your body. Sleeping around with anybody just because, male or female, because you can't control your sexual appetite. So you got a sexual appetite you better learn to manage, or you're going to die before your time. And you've definitely got a dietary, discipline. You follow me? That you better respect if you want to live, your full life and not die before your time. So your dietary appetite and your sexual appetite, they need to be managed, and they need to be managed intelligently. And you won't know that unless you learn and take some time to research. And then once you research, apply that knowledge into your lifestyle. And don't wait till tomorrow. You need to get done with that right. You need to get on that right now. Men and women, by the way. Love you guys. DFG. Talk to you later. Bye now.